Shinjuku subway line. Tokyo Terminal, JC1.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tokyo Station. Today we'll be traveling from here at Tokyo Station all the way to the Least Used Shinkansen, a.k.a. bullet train station, in all of Japan. It's a journey that's going to take over 3.5 hours on the bullet train, taking us from Japan's capital all the way to its frosty north. Tokyo Station, for your information, is the most used Shinkansen station in the entire country,
with around 250,000 people a day boarding the Shinkansen here.
This other station, though, well, you'll just have to wait and find out. I am very glad, though, that I got to Tokyo Station early. Of course, it's not like an airport where you need to be here 2 hours early, but I was recording right before peak New Year's travel season here in Japan, so the station was even more crowded than I've seen it during Golden Week in May, or over Obon in August.
So, fun fact about me, I have never been further north in Japan than Saitama Prefecture, the prefecture that is directly north of Tokyo. And even then, that's only about 30 miles directly north of Tokyo. This station that we're going to today is 360 miles north of Tokyo, 600 kilometers north of Tokyo. As such, I've properly bundled up for this trip. I've got my ekiben and drinks for the trip because it's going to be 3 hours and 40 minutes on the bullet train, a whole hour and a half longer than if you were going to Osaka or Kyoto. So we're in it for the long haul for sure. Also, I'm recording this on Christmas, so Merry Christmas everyone, wherever you are celebrating. This is going to date this video tremendously, depending on how long it takes me to get this out. But you know what I want for Christmas this year? For you to subscribe to this channel or like this video if you enjoy it. Or if you want, become a member. All right, that's enough shilling. The train's here anyway. Well, 3 hours and 40 minutes later, and we are at the least used bullet train station in all of Japan, Okutsugaru Imabetsu, here in rural Aomori Prefecture. So here's the thing. The next train that leaves Okutsugaru Imabetsu going the direction I need towards Aomori and towards Tokyo is in about an hour. The next train that stops here is at 5 o'clock, so an hour and a half after that, going towards Hokkaido, the way I came from. The next train is 2 hours later, also going towards Hokkaido. And then the one half an hour after that one is the one going the way I need. So if I miss this train in an hour, I'm stuck here until 7 o'clock, and it's currently about 2:30. So I'd like to not do that. So what I think I'll do is I'll turn it over to me in VO to tell you everything there is to know about this station.
So why is there a Shinkansen station all the way out here in the middle of rural Aomori Prefecture in the first place? Well, the reason is this. Okay, not the specific fire extinguisher, but to a greater extent, extinguishing fire. Let me explain. Okutsugaru Imabetsu originally opened on March 13th, 1988 as Sudaga Imabetsu Station, coinciding with the opening of the Seikan Tunnel, the longest undersea train tunnel in the world. Originally, there was no plan to open a passenger train station at Okutsugaru Imabetsu's current location. A JR maintenance base and center for firefighting equipment for the Seikan Tunnel was going to be built here, but nothing else. However, the local government protested and petitioned JR to convert their plans to include a passenger train station. After repeated attempts, JR finally relented, constructing passenger services at Tsudaga Imabetsu, albeit at the town's expense. Only 4 trains a day stopped at Tsudaga Imabetsu, but it was a victory for the town nonetheless. Limited express trains making the trip between Aomori and Hokkaido passed through here, but didn't stop. Only the rapid trains did. In 2002, these rapid trains were eliminated, so limited express trains did eventually stop here, but only 2 in each direction, or 4 trains a day. But in May of 2005, construction on the Hokkaido Shinkansen linking Aomori and Hakodate began, and it was decided that Tsudaga Imabetsu would be upgraded to a Shinkansen station. When the Hokkaido Shinkansen officially opened on May 16, 2016, Tsudaga Imabetsu Station opened in the form we see it today, adorned with the new name Okutsugaru Imabetsu. Okutsugaru Imabetsu is nestled in a mountain valley located some 25 miles or 40 kilometers north of central Aomori City. When you arrive at the station, you'll notice the long platforms built to accommodate the 10-car trains on the Hokkaido Shinkansen. Each platform has a small waiting room and smoking room, although I didn't see either in use while I was at the station. If you make your way up to the ticket gates, you can tell the station was built within the last decade, looking a lot less oppressive than some other JR stations I've been to. The station is also staffed, and I definitely got some weird looks from the station staff as I was walking around filming. Up by the ticket gates, there's another waiting room which has a couple benches to sit on and a display of the upcoming trains. There's also a Midori no Madoguchi, a ticket office where you can buy tickets for the Shinkansen. As you can see by the timetable, there aren't many trains that stop here, just 7 each direction every single day. Once you go further beyond the ticket gate, there's another set of bathrooms before you cross this indoor footbridge over a set of tracks that we'll be talking about later. You can then make your way out of the station by elevator or by stairs. Unsurprisingly, there's not too much around Okutsugaru Imabetsu. Prefectural Route 14 runs by on the south side, taking you from the town of Imabetsu down towards the town of Sotogahama. There are also a few other things of note out here. There's a small bus rotary and taxi stand, which can bring you from the station to the towns in the region. And for the buses, there's a small waiting room full of information about Aomori Prefecture. If you make your way through the nearby parking garage, you'll arrive at roadside station Imabetsu Hanto Plaza Asukuru, a small rest stop which has a store and a small restaurant. I got some omiyage for my coworkers here after letting the fact I'd be in Aomori slip, and won a free cup of ice cream from the restaurant with my purchase. All in all, there's not too much to Okutsugaru Imabetsu. If we don't look beyond the interior, and you told me this was a typical train station somewhere in a suburban area of Tokyo or Osaka, I'd probably believe you. But instead, it's a Shinkansen station in a low-traffic area, some 40 kilometers away from an area with a significant population. Now, I know everyone is here for the big number. How many passengers does Okutsugaru Imabetsu Station get on a daily basis? And we'll get there. Trust me, we will. But first, let's try and put this number into perspective. On a normal day, Tokyo Station, which is the busiest bullet train station in all of Japan, gets a little over 255,000 passengers just using the bullet train. Now, the majority of them are using the Tokaido Shinkansen, the bullet train that runs between Tokyo and Osaka and is operated by JR Central. But owing to the fact that I used the Tohoku Shinkansen on my way up here today, let's kick out this 255,000 number and just use the passengers using the JR East portion. Right, that looks better. So 70,323 people board the Tohoku Shinkansen from Tokyo every single day. The first train on the Tohoku Shinkansen leaves a little after 6 a.m. and latest departs at just before 11.
so we'll call it 17 hours just to make the math a little easier. 70,323 people over 17 hours gives us roughly 4,100 people that board the Tohoku Shinkansen at Tokyo Station every single hour. Imabetsu, the town that Okutsugara Imabetsu sits in, had a population of about 2,500 back in 2020. But it's estimated that the current population is closer to 2,000. That means double the population of Imabetsu boards a Tohoku Shinkansen train at Tokyo every single hour. Now, the Tohoku and Hokkaido Shinkansen run the E5 series Shinkansen. In their ordinary cars, like the one that I rode today, there are about 20 rows of 5 seats each. 20 times 5 means 100 passengers per ordinary car. Okutsugara Imabetsu Station gets 40 passengers a day boarding, meaning one car of the Shinkansen can fit double the daily ridership of Okutsugara Imabetsu Station by itself. And as a fun fact, the second least used Shinkansen station is just one stop up the line on the other side of the Seikan Tunnel, Kikonai Station, which gets just 58 passengers every day. If you had to ask me where these passenger numbers came from, I'd have to assume it'd be the 2% of Imabetsu's town that maybe commutes to Aomori every day via the Shinkansen. Obviously, we can't know for certain unless I stood outside the station and interviewed every passenger coming and going, but because transit options in the area are becoming fewer and fewer, Okutsugara Imabetsu needs to exist to help keep this region alive. Now, what do I mean by that? Right next to Okutsugara Imabetsu is Tsugaru Futamata Station on the JR Tsugaru line, a small rural train line that runs north from Aomori through its namesake, the Tsugaru Peninsula. This station has been open since 1958, when the Tsugaru line was extended from its previous terminus at Kanita Station in the town of Sotogahama. Then, in 1988, the Seikan Tunnel opened, as did the Tsugaru Kaikyo line, which I'm just going to call the Kaikyo line for simplicity's sake. The Kaikyo line deviated from the regular Tsugaru line after Odai Station, when it would head north and make the trip through the Seikan Tunnel and into Hokkaido. Therefore, the only people using the Tsugaru line, the small regional line, this far north were likely those who lived or worked in the town of Imabetsu. Tsugara Futamata was, for a long time, your standard rural train station in Japan. Unstaffed, single track, low passenger numbers. You know the deal. But the astute among you would realize I said the word was. In August of 2022, northern Japan was hit by record-breaking rainfall. On just one day, August 9th of 2022, certain parts of Aomori got over 25 centimeters of rain. By the time the storm subsided, the damage to the Tsugaru line was clear. JR East canceled service on the line north of Kanita, introducing rail replacement buses and taxis in its place. It was estimated that it would take over 600 million yen to repair the damage to the line. Now, if 600 million yen was needed to restore a train line in Tokyo, it'd be done almost instantly. But for a small, rural line like this, it was too big a pill to swallow. In June of 2025, it was decided that the affected section of the line would be permanently closed as of April 2027. Starting later in 2026, a nonprofit organization will facilitate transit between Kanita and Minamiya stations, including at Tsugaru Futamata and Okutsugara Imabetsu. So, while the Shinkansen will, of course, remain, the Tsugaru line will terminate back where it originally did some 75 years ago, down in Kanita Station. There's something that feels kind of wrong about having a Shinkansen station here. Imabetsu is the least populated municipality in Japan that has one, after all. But to have a Shinkansen station, when the regular local train that's supposed to serve the town will be permanently closed in less than 2 years, it just feels strange. Imabetsu is a small fishing town located some 5 kilometers north of here. The town relies heavily on commercial fishing, with sea urchins, scallops, and squid being some of the most commonly caught marine life. But like many small towns in Japan, Imabetsu has been on the decline for some time now. A town that some 50 years ago had a population of nearly 8,000 has dwindled to around 2,000. But then, in stark contrast to the dying fishing village, you have an ultra-modern Shinkansen station, whisking people away from Imabetsu at hundreds of kilometers an hour. In a way, it feels like it's mocking the town. While your local line that serves the village can't be fixed, you can still get on a train and get as far away as possible, to Tokyo and beyond, several times a day. To circle back, all the way to the point of this video, I don't think any Shinkansen station will be beating Okutsugaru Imabetsu for the title of least used bullet train station in Japan for a long time. With the train line next door being put out of its misery in 2027 and a declining local population, perhaps in the future, there simply won't be anyone to use it, period.
Well, we seem to have made it back to Shin Aomori Station, so that's the place we're going to end this video off, and I hope you did enjoy. If you want to see more trips like this in the future, consider leaving a like or subscribing to my channel, as it really helps me out a lot in battling the ever-changing YouTube algorithm. Furthermore, if you want to support me directly, consider becoming a member. Members get extra perks, like having their names in the credits of every single one of my videos. With that being said, from Japan's frosty north, my name is Adam, and take care. Happy holidays, and have a good day. Goodbye for now.